Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare.
Oh! Being a YouTuber is just trying to decide if you're gonna do the video with your hat on or the hat off. I think I'm gonna go off. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. First thing I want to say is a Happy New Year to you and yours wherever you live around the globe. And I'm wishing you peace and love and all the good things in 2021. I'm glad the year is over, and I hope 2021 is a little bit kinder to all of us going into the new year. For today's video, we're going to be doing a Q&A. I have no idea how long it's going to go. I'll decide that after I answer a good amount of the questions, but I did ask earlier today on my Instagram. If you're not following me there, please do so here somewhere. But I asked earlier on my Instagram, and you guys came through with a ton of questions. So yeah, that was just a few of the questions that you guys sent. So I'm going to do my best to answer a wide variety of stuff, and I'm going to move pretty quickly through some of the photography ones that I feel like will benefit a lot of people, and then throw some random ones in too. So grab a snack or a drink or a bevy, cold glass of milk, some cookies, you know the vibes. And yeah, let's get started with this Q&A. Getting a ton of questions about my income and what I do. Am I primarily a photographer? How do I make my money, etc. I do a lot of different things. Photography is, I would say, a decent portion of my income, whether that's doing influencer stuff via Instagram or, YouTube has recently become a source of income for me as well. Other things, I sometimes do digital stuff that nobody would ever see on my Instagram. I do consulting sometimes for social media or design or website design. I also am partners with my dad, my old man, on a couple family businesses, which actually probably make up the majority of my income. So I am a business owner and a photographer, and yeah, I do a lot of different things for money. So I'm very thankful for all of the sources of income that I have, for sure. A lot of you guys are asking about scans. Where do you get your scans done? PhotoVision prints. I'm not paid to say that at all. It's a family-run business that I have been using for 4 years. They're in Oregon. Nathan will put it here. It's kind of like my fam. They do my stuff. And then people are asking how I get my scans done. I just ask for it flat and a little bit overexposed. I want to add the contrast. I want it to be flat. I want to make all the changes. But use a lab consistently. Like, if you're going to use a lab and you're going to invest money in using in a lab and you're not going to do it yourself, find a place from somebody's work that you like, ask them where they're going, or get a large sample of that. Go to that lab and work it. You got to work the process. You can't just keep hopping around and wonder why they never get it right. You've got to give somebody a chance. So somebody's got to see, 15, 20 rolls and have that dialogue back and forth. And then if the lab's not willing to have the dialogue through email or phone call of trying to get your scans right, then bounce on that place like stat. That's why I use my lab, because they'll get on the phone with me or anybody else and we'll talk out what I'm not liking about it, and they'll either help me see if it's on my end or if it's on their end. So yeah, if your lab's not willing to give you the time, and I'm going on a rant, but my lab is huge, dude. I visited it 2 or 3 times in person. They're doing a dummy amount of stuff. They're a big lab and they still take time for their customers. So if your lab's not going to work with you to help you get the product you want when you're paying a ridiculous amount of money to get stuff scanned, later, Gator. The homie Pablo wants to know, what did you study? That's a question I get asked all the time. I studied world religions in school, or that's what I finished with. I started in advertising, but I studied world religions with an emphasis on Islam, so I had to spend a decent amount of time going into mosques and a little bit of Catholicism, and with the ultimate focus being on Christianity or studying the Bible. So yeah, that's what I finished studying in school, world religions. What camera would you recommend for somebody who is going up to medium format? 645, definitely. Don't jump. I do not recommend anybody jumping right into 6x7. One, because it's financially ridiculous. You only get 10 shots. 645 is going to be a huge step up of resolution from 35 millimeter. You'll love your work so much more than 35 millimeter. Well, maybe not. You might love 35 mil, but you'll be able to tell a difference. It's much more distinguishable than 35, and you'll get 16 shots, which is way more doable from a financial perspective. And so I would do like Mamiya 645 or Pentax 645. I think you can get either one of those for like $400 to $500 US dollars. And I've seen beautiful work from both of those older versions. So yeah, go for a 645. If you've got dumb money to blow, go 6x7 and start with one of the three big dogs, a Pentax 6.7 or an RC 6.7 if you want to shoot portraits and landscape. If you want to shoot landscape or documentary stuff solely, get a Mamiya 7 or a Makina 6.7. Yeah. Who is the best, Willem or Joe? I don't know who's the best. Next question. What was your favorite trip you've ever done? My favorite trip I've ever done was a road trip from like, man, where do we start? I think we started in either San Francisco or LA, pretty sure San Francisco, and me and my buddy Matt G, who is like an OG Instagram guy, and then my buddy Alex, who I travel with a lot. We sent it from like San Francisco to a little bit north of Vancouver, and it was just incredibly gnarly. We stopped at every Northern California spot, all the Oregon spots, all of the Washington State spots, and then ended in Canada, and then drove all the way back, and we ended it with Yosemite before we went back to the airport in San Francisco. And my buddy Matt, I actually found him crying at a spot in Yosemite, and I was like, dude, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And he was literally shedding tears because the like 10-day road trip, the sin was just so sick, and we just had such a good time with each other. So yeah, that road trip, like 2015 or 16, probably forever will be my favorite. Yeah, just that one was sick. Underground Shots asks, would you give up photography if it meant Luka goes 7-0 in the NBA Finals? Yeah, not even a question. I would burn every camera behind me if that were possible. So yes. What are your plans for 2021? To stay alive and hopefully keep making videos for you guys. What has been your number one favorite camera of all time to shoot with? You must be new around here, Shot by Film. I'm just kidding, but you already know the vibes. What is your opinion on Ektar? Trash. It's really bad. No, I'm just kidding. If you follow me on Twitter, you guys know I kind of have like this running joke where I make fun of Ektar. Ektar is a super great film. It's really good. It's a super clean film. It's super sharp. For a certain situation, it balls, no doubt. I just poke fun at it because I shoot portrait because it's way more forgiving and I can just make it look like whatever I want. But yeah, Ektar is great. It just is never going to be my primary go-to. But if you rock with Ektar, or if you've never tried it, I would suggest trying it, especially if you're into landscapes or you have a scene that you feel like you really want certain reds or oranges to pop. Yeah, load up Ektar. It's cool for sure. Love this question from Bethel _CH. How to find a mentor as a complete beginner? Be honest, be transparent, be authentic, be yourself. Reach out to somebody local. Definitely don't go looking for a social media personality or your favorite influencer. Find somebody in your town that's shooting a style of work that you look up to and send them a very professional, concise, short email and tell them who you are, what your background is, if you have any skills that are outside of photography or any skills that you have in photography so far, and just say, hey, I'm looking to shadow you, I'm looking to learn from you. If that means I'm having to reload your batteries or reload your film or carry a suitcase or a bag on set for you for completely free, I'll be the person to do that with a smile on my face, and I'll work hard and I'll be on time and I'll be professional and I'll be a good asset for you. And I promise you that you will learn more being on a set with with a photographer that's being paid, that's paying their bills doing that on set, or a wedding photographer, and carry their bag, and you will learn more at a wedding one day or on one shoot with a person, more than you would ever think when you just see how they interact with a client or a subject. So yeah, send out that email, be professional, be concise, don't waste their time, get straight to the point, let them know what you have to offer and what you can do for them. And if you don't have a lot to offer, just be honest and say, I might not have a ton to offer right now, but I'm gonna show up on time, I'm gonna have a good attitude, and I'm gonna make happen whatever I can, and be a fast learner. So yeah, I love that question. I think it's incredibly important to find a mentor. Chris McNally asks, how much pressure do you feel to shoot what you think people will like rather than what you want to? I think it's different for everybody, Chris. I think if the money on your social media, if you're making money off your social media, then that pressure is a lot more real. So I do make money off of social media, whether it's my YouTube channel or it's my Instagram or whatever. So I am that's always in the back of my mind. I want to post stuff that I feel like is going to make me enticing to brands or other companies. And so, yeah, but I think at the same time, we all feel that, because I think if we're all honest, we all want our social media channels to grow, which there's nothing wrong with that. We're human beings. I think if we're gut-wrenching honest, we like to be affirmed, and there's nothing wrong with that. It only becomes a problem when the balance gets out of whack. But I think we all feel pressure to shoot things that we know people will like, as opposed to things that people don't necessarily like, or that's going to do not as good online. I could probably do a whole video on that, so if you guys want to hear more about that. But yeah, I feel that pressure for sure. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it only becomes a bad thing when it might weigh heavy on my mental health and is, manifesting, and a lot of things are becoming negative from that. So I'm not going to let it control my life, but at the same time, I'm very cognizant of the content on my social that will do well. And a lot of people don't want to sell out. So, whatever that means. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there, Chris. Leave me a comment if you guys want to hear more about posting what people like or being true to yourself. I don't know. Whatever. I think it's corny, but I cannot pronounce the I don't know. But the question is, and this is being asked a decent amount, is I've heard or seen you alluding to starting a clothing company. Are you starting a clothing company? The long story short is yes, I am starting a clothing company. I'm actually starting two. They're going to be not little because there's a lot going into them. Side projects though, for me and for some people in my family. One is going to be probably the one that you're going to see first, is going to be a lot more low key. It's going to be just t-shirts at first, and they're going to be very simple, very comfortable, just kind of bright colored stuff. I don't wear a lot of bright stuff, but it's very mission, cause based. It's going to be giving back to help alleviate poverty here in rural Appalachia, and helping with the food and hunger problem here, which is coined as food insecurity. But yeah, there's a lot of people where I live that are very hungry, and so we're gonna make some adventure type outdoor t-shirts and see where it goes from there, just to give back. And then another one is gonna be kind of a little bit more, hopefully, upscale stuff. This one is proving to be a lot more difficult than I thought. Just stuff like this, chore coats, pants, shirts, button-ups. That's proving to be a lot more difficult, and I ran into a lot of I don't want to say problems, because they're not problems. I can find the solutions to them. But yeah, manufacturing's tough. I don't know anything about clothing design. I don't know anything about fabric, and we've made a lot of good progress on it. But over the holidays, it became really difficult to get in touch with people that can make good quality clothing. And then also ethically, we trust the factories and making sure that that's all good, because I want to make sure that's okay. So yeah, one will probably be rolled out really soon, and I don't know if I'll post a lot about it on social at first, because I kind of just want them to get their own legs. But yeah, one for sure will be in the next 60 days. I'll have something out, which is going to be the more mission cause one, the t-shirts for the outdoors. And then the second one, we'll see. But we've put money in the second one, so hopefully it does come out at some point. So yeah, to be continued on that front. Favorite focal length? I don't know, hard to say. Probably 28. I love all the three big boys, big girls, big dogs, whatever you want to call them. 50, 28, 35. I love all those. I think they're all great. Tips for someone wanting to start up a photography YouTube channel. Try and be different. There's a ton of photography content all out there. But this year, 2021, I'm looking to really pump out some content for you guys, baby. So I'm looking at a ton of different stuff I want to do. It's kind of hard to come up with fresh ideas, but I think there's a ton of different stuff you can do. I don't think everything has to be a walk around video where you show your film shots. Those are actually probably the most difficult videos to make because you have to wait for the scans to come back, and the photos are not always great. They're hardly ever great, actually, and then you have to put them out, and then some dork with an anonymous profile picture makes fun of your photos, and it hurts your feelings, and you want to cry. And so I don't know. There's a ton of different videos you can make, honestly. So I would try and figure out a way, like, what can you do that nobody else can do? That's a question I always ask myself when I'm doing any kind of business in the world. What can I offer that nobody else can? And even if somebody else can, what can I do to the highest level of my ability? I might not be the best at it, but I look at my skill sets and my strengths and my weaknesses. And so, yeah, you might be like a photography podcast, or you might be talking about the chemistry behind the film development. Yours might be doing specifically gear because you really love the gear. Yours might be talking about scouting locations and how you prepare for a shoot, or lighting, or audio. There's so much. Just like, what are you good at and what can you kill it at? So yeah, just do it, man. Yeah, you can do this, Liam Darby. I believe in you. I'm looking for your YouTube channel this year, Liam Darby _. Lawrence White asks, can you shave your head for clout? Lawrence, let me be explicitly clear. I would do anything for clout. So if I was guaranteed that I would gain more clout from shaving my head, I'd probably shave my head. So yeah, if anybody knows how to give me clout, give me any more clout, bang my line. Rowan O'Brien asks, is Ilford HP5 really that good? Rowan, I think it is. I think if you're gonna shoot black and white, you've got a lot of options. You've got Tri-X, you've got HP5 if you want faster speed. I think Ilford Delta 100 is cool. I've shot that a lot. But I think HP5 is good. It's always easier to add contrast instead of take it away, in my experience. So that's why I shoot HP5, because it's flat. So what is the absolute, I like this question. What is the absolute most that you would pay for scanning and dev? I'm not paying more than $20 ever. I know some labs will be like in the 22 range for dev and scan. And I always want to get the biggest scans, And if it's going to cost me more than $20 US for both, I'm just not doing that. Yeah, so that was a lot of questions. There was a ton more that I didn't get to answer, but I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, like any other topics that you would like to hear about or that you think would be beneficial to you as a human being, no matter what they're about. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys stopping by on the vid. If you haven't already, please leave the video a big old like. That really helps me out a ton. And subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this. I would appreciate it mucho. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, it'll be somewhere around here, but that's just a good way to keep up with what's going on. So yeah, we'll see you guys again for another video soon.
Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes for creative and curious people just like me. On Skillshare, you can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in a wide variety of topics. From music to photography to business or leadership, I'm sure that Skillshare has a class for you. When I first started photography, the person that I looked up to the most was a guy named Chris Burkhardt. Lucky for you and I, Chris has a class on Skillshare right now. The class is called Outdoor Photography, Shooting at Sunset, Sunrise, and Night. I've come a long way in my photography career, but I'm always looking for a little edge to up my game, and I've loved getting to see how someone like Chris approaches sunset and sunrise. One of my favorite things about Skillshare is that it's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity wants to take you. And the best part is, it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. Right now, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description below will get a free trial of premium membership so you can hop on Skillshare right after this video.